We're really in the throes of beginning the budget process on the floor. The Ways and Means Committee, of which I'm a member, we've been meeting the last month and really dividing up and deciding how to be good stewards of state taxpayer dollars. It's always difficult because there are more people asking for funds than there are funds available. Unfortunately, in the state over the last 4 years, with the downturn in the economy, with really relying on revenue from income tax and sales tax, those two revenue streams making up 87% of our total cash that comes into the state, and both of those streams being down has been difficult. This year, fortunately for South Carolina, and it's been noted that South Carolina's economy is bouncing back quicker than most all other states. We see this now as a time to shore up what we needed to do in state government. It really comes in several forms. First and foremost is law enforcement. We've been down in the number of trooper hires around the state, so we're being in a position now to bolster that. The other part of that is bringing a 5% pay raise to law enforcement. They haven't had a pay raise in 5 years, so this hopefully helps them out some. We look at retention. I'm from an area in York County where we're right on the border, so we tend to have an unfortunate problem in losing good personnel across the border, so I hope this helps stem that as well. The other is a 2% pay raise for state employees, which includes teachers as well. Those two added bonuses the governor did not include in her budget, so we are making the effort to include those. We're also in this budget through property tax relief and other tax advantages. We're sending some $549 million back to the taxpayer, while at the same time taking rainy day funds, reserve accounts if you will, and bolstering those so that we're shoring up the state so that we don't have an issue where our credit rating, for example, would be lower, which makes it more expensive to actually do business within the state. In addition to that, we look at economic development. We have an excellent Department of Commerce head, Bobby Hitt. He has proved his mettle throughout just really the first year he's been here. With that, one of the requests that he made was more money in a reserve account for what's called a closing fund, so that he has the ability, when a company is looking at South Carolina, for that company to make a quicker decision, so he has more tools in his tool belt to try to help with that. We've bolstered that. The governor put in $5 million. At the end of the day, we'll have about $35 million in that account. That sounds like a ton of money, but we're talking about bringing in thousands and thousands of jobs, which this enables us to be able to do. It is certainly wise investing. The other part is dealing with our port in Charleston. The federal government requires that we spend at least 60% of the cost of dredging. Right now, the Port of Charleston is at 47 feet. Post-Panamax ships require a 50-foot draft. So we've got to increase the depth in the harbor by 3 feet. It ends up being about $100 million per foot, $300 million to get that job done. The feds require that we spend 60% of that ourselves as a state, which is $180 million. We are doing this year taking $180 million and putting it in a reserve account to show the federal government that we're ready to dredge. This helps expedite the feds and the Army Corps of Engineers to move forward as well. So by bolstering economic development, helping ensure that the good employees that we have in this state and our teachers, our law enforcement, that they get an adequate bonus, we lift morale, we kind of take what is needed in the Port of Charleston, right it. The other component that we did was actually increase the base student cost from $1,880 to $2,012 this year. The good news for that is that it helps send some money that was lost back to the local school districts. The other part of that is you have to realize that the monies that come to the school districts really is a partnership between the federal government, state government, and local. By sending more money back from the state, what we prevent is tax increases on local mom and pops. With Act 388, you can't raise it any longer on an owner-occupied home, but you can raise it on a business or a manufacturing facility, and you can on a car or a boat or a motorcycle or a pickup truck. So this just ensures that the money's coming back from the state. It protects the local taxpayer in the form of their property tax, especially for mom and pop stores. Small businesses probably have been hit the worst during this economic turndown. So I think that what we see through that is we're trying to be all we can be to the state of South Carolina, push job growth as much as we can to fill the tools in the tool belt that we're able to do that. At the same time, be good stewards of your tax dollar. And I think through this budget we have made a good faith effort. Again, it is difficult to get all that done. At the end of what we accomplish in the next week, I think for the taxpayer of South Carolina, we have done a good deed. As always, I appreciate the opportunity to serve you. If you have any questions, please contact me. I'm always here to help. Thank you, and I look forward to speaking with you next week.